to record. That's so scary the way it does that.
Oh, I get a notification, leave meeting or okay.
Ooh, you're like, no, I don't consent. So sorry.
I leave.
You're like, oh, I actually didn't know this was going to be recorded. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of Book Bestie. I am your host, Megan, and for this week, I have a very special guest. This is Emma, and Emma runs a bookstagram called Em's Reads on Instagram. So if you want to introduce yourself, go ahead.
Hi guys, I'm Emma. I'm 22 years old and I moved from Holland to Ireland last year. And I started my bookstagram journey, I think in 2021, maybe. Maybe 2022. I don't actually know. But yeah, that's about it. I love reading and I love playing games every once in a while. And that's about it, I think. I'm not that interesting person, to be honest.
To be honest, that sounds like if you just replace my name with your name, that's like my description as well. When I'm talking, I'm like, yeah, so I like reading and I play
That's about
games
it,
sometimes. Pretty much. What games do you play actually?
Um, Animal Crossing
Wait,
and
yeah,
Stardew Valley,
the new update?
Disney.
Have you looked at the new update?
No, because it's not out for the Switch yet. And
Oh,
since my dog
yeah.
broke my gaming laptop charger, I can't actually game on
Oh
my laptop.
no. Oh my God,
So I
no.
don't know yet.
Oh, it's
Is it
insane.
fun?
Oh my God, it's
Oh
insane.
no.
He's added like a whole new farm. So you get like two chickens when you start instead of like your
What?
parsnip. Yeah. And then there's also like a whole ass thing of you get gain experience so you can like unlock things with like your foraging and your mining and all that kind of stuff. Like, oh my God, it's
Yeah.
insane. I've watched so many
Oh my
people play it now
God.
and I updated mine yesterday, but I was like, okay, focus on the podcast and then you can play with the game.
Oh my God. I'm gonna have to watch some videos until I can get a new charger for my laptop.
God, yeah, Jesus. Um, but yeah, oh my God, that just solidifies even more that if you just switch my name with your name, that's like my description. I'm like, yes, I play Animal Crossing and Stardew and
Yeah, The Sims too every once in a while.
yeah, see, I have a Mac. So I
Yeah.
try to play The Sims and
Oh,
it's pretty much game
yeah.
over. It just breaks like
Yeah.
instantly. Yeah.
I've heard that about Max, yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like it's about to take off and go just like literally go up in the air.
Exactly.
So when did you actually start reading?
I think like when I was younger, I did read a lot of books and stuff
Mhm.
with my mom and dad, but like I think every kid does
Yeah.
because your mom and dad kind of want to get you into reading
Hmm.
instead of like drugs and alcohol.
Two the exact same
And
things, yeah.
so then, well, high school began and everything, and it wasn't cool to read anymore.
Yeah.
But I think it was 2019 that I started getting back into it, like
Hmm.
just a wee bit. And then when COVID started, that's when I fully got back into it.
Yeah.
Because what else are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like play games and read. That's what my quarantine looked like, and school still. But
Mm.
so I think 2020 I read 30 books, and then the year after that 40 maybe, but then the year after, I think 2022 I read about 75 books and I was
Oh
like,
my
wow,
God.
this is actually crazy.
This is a problem.
I know. I when I first went to Ireland, I like books are so cheap here compared to Holland.
Really?
Like in Holland, I buy a book maybe for €20, but here I buy it for 8. So I'm like, well,
Yeah.
that is really cheap.
Yeah.
So I came to Ireland with 2 books and I left Ireland with 85 books within the
Yeah.
span of a year.
Oh my God.
So yeah, it's a problem. Um, I stopped buying books now for a while until I get my TBR down, but
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
I'm the same at the minute. Mine just I'm looking at my shelf and I'm like, wow, there's like 90% of them I have not read. And I just bought a new book the other day. I had a really
Oh
bad day in
God.
work and I was just like, you know what? I deserve this. And I just bought a book.
Exactly, exactly. I think my physical TBR, I think there's about 50 books on it, which is not that bad. But then
Mine's
my
like,
Kindle has
oh,
95, I think,
that
which
doesn't count.
isn't that bad,
That doesn't
but
count.
you
They're
know,
all in there.
it's
It's
a
fine.
Kindle.
Exactly.
Exactly.
They don't count. It's fine.
No,
God, I never count them. I didn't even think to count them. I should just not, because that's probably just gonna like damage me mentally just seeing how much is on that.
probably, yeah.
Yeah. Like I think I have the last time I checked, I think I had like 98 books that I hadn't read that I own. Because I'm the worst for what I'll do is I'll buy the whole series, but I
Oh yeah,
haven't
me
read a
too.
word. And I'm like, dude, like
Me
I've
too.
the Caraval series there, I've Shatter Me behind me somewhere.
Mm.
I have you ever read Shatter Me?
I've read Shatter Me in 2022 for the first
Mm,
time. It was hard getting into, but
mm.
I did enjoy the series whenever I finished it. Like some books were 5 stars, some were
Yeah.
2 stars. Like it's a very different series from what I used to read.
Mm,
I have read the first of Caraval too, but never really continued.
yeah.
And I bought Akatar, the whole series. Read one book in 2022, read the second book this February, I think. So I
Mm.
waited a year to continue the series, and
Yeah.
now I haven't picked up the third book because I just can't.
Yeah, to be honest, the second book was my favorite out of them. I haven't read the last book of Akatar yet, but
Hmm.
I just don't like the character that it's centered around, so I'm just like putting it off. I'm like, I'll do it
No,
one day. I'll do it like
exactly.
eventually.
Like, I want to focus 2024 about reading. Ow, my dog just bit me. I want to focus 2024 on reading, like continuing more the series that I started.
Yeah.
I finished Magnolia Parks. That's it. That's all the series I finished. But Magnolia Parks, I just could not stop reading it, so I just had to.
Yeah.
And like with what is it, a court of what's the second one called? A court of
Mist and Fury.
that one. I loved it. Like I really did,
Yeah.
but I just didn't feel the need to immediately know what happens in the
Yeah.
third one,
Hmm.
which I did have with Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates. I just felt like I needed to
Yeah.
finish that, and I was able to because I bought like I just read I think Daisy Hates after the first Magnolia Parks. I read that last year, and then I read Daisy Hates this
Mm.
year, and then immediately continued the series. But I was on the last Magnolia Parks book or just starting the last Daisy Hates maybe, and then Into the Dark came out. So I was like, "Oh, this is perfect. I'm about to finish every
Yeah.
book that I have." And then I pre-ordered Into the Dark and I was like, "This is just great." I did take a break in between because I was like,
It's
I've
a
seen
lot.
so many people cry to this book and it's 700 pages. I was like, "No.
Yeah.
I need a break first."
I had no idea how long it was because I pre-ordered it.
Oh,
I go to college in Carlow. So I pre-ordered it
yeah.
to my house, right? And I got home and
Mhm.
I was like, oh my God, finally opened it because I pre-ordered boat covers because I have a problem,
Why
right?
not? Why not?
Exactly, right? So when I opened it, I was like, holy shit, this is so freaking long. No
I know,
idea.
720 pages or something. It was
Yeah, it's
insane.
insane. Because like even looking at them now, like the first Daisy Hates is quite short. Actually, both Daisy
Yeah.
Hates are quite short.
Daisy Hates are not that big. No, both
No,
of them
not
not.
at all. Um, yeah, we'll get into more Magnolia later. We'll
Yes.
we'll, we'll talk about that, because that won't end if we don't do it now.
Oh
So what is
no.
your
We
reading goal for the year?
I set it to 50 books now. Last year I had 40 books and I read 42 in the end.
Mm.
I had a wee bit of reading slumps throughout the year and I was like, oh, okay. There isn't way. There's no way I'm gonna finish 40 books. But then I got into the Once Upon a Broken Heart series and I was like, oh,
I'm good.
this pulled me right out of the
Yeah.
slump. So then you're crushing my spine here. Oh, so I then read 42 books, so I thought I'd challenge myself just a wee bit extra and set it to 50 books. I've
Mm.
read 12 so far, so I'm right on schedule for the 50 books. And I haven't hit a reading slump yet, so
Oh, touch wood.
that's good.
Touch wood. Doesn't happen.
Yep.
Yeah, because I'm the worst for when I go back to college and stuff. Like, I find it so hard because, like, I'm sitting here and I'm reading, and then I get like this guilt because I'm like, oh, I should be doing stuff for college. I shouldn't be like just
Yeah,
sitting here doing nothing. You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So,
just got a full-time job, so I was like, oh, I really hope I don't get into a reading slump just because I'm
yeah,
so tired after work and everything. I'm
yeah.
like, oh.
You get into
But
this habit of just doing the same thing over and over and over again.
exactly, exactly. I haven't worked my first day yet, so I'm just ramming all books into me now.
Yeah, yeah. So what are you actually currently reading?
The Invisible Life, Addie LaRue, if you pronounce it like that. I'm not really sure if you
I think
pronounce it in a
so.
French way or something, but um I'm on no, not 50. I think 80 something pages.
Hmm.
I'm not really into it yet. I haven't gone to the part of the book yet that I'm like, oh, I can't put this down or
Yeah.
oh, I hate this. I'm just slowly making my way through it, really.
Hmm.
But now that my boyfriend is sick, it's kind of easy to read because he just does his own thing
He
and
leaves you alone.
exactly. He just leaves me be and do my thing and he games all day. I'm like, fine, sure, I'll read all day, you know.
If you must,
But
you know, forced.
I haven't actually picked up the book in the last
Mm,
2 days
mm.
because I've just been gaming. I don't know. I've discovered this cat cafe game on my Switch and I'm like, great, sure. And I've played it for 4 days straight. So,
I mean, I don't see any better way to spend your time. I have a game on my phone and it's called, I think it's like Lumber Cat or something. And it's like you just make cats
mhm.
chop wood. And I've dedicated too many hours on
Oh
my
my
phone.
God. It
Yeah.
sounds great. I have
Oh,
this
it's so cute.
phone or this game on my phone, a cat game too, and then I think it's a cafe. I have a cafe one and a grocery store one. And it's just cats running a cafe and a grocery store. I'm like,
Can't go
great,
wrong.
sure. Exactly. Why not?
Exactly. No better way to spend your time.
Exactly.
So what are your favorite genres? What do you kind of gravitate towards mostly when you're reading?
I love a good romance, like even if it is a cheesy
I don't
love
care.
story that
Yeah.
doesn't happen in real life.
No.
I don't care. I
They
eat it
instantly
up
fall in
anyway.
love. They're like,
Oh,
oh, everything's peaches and
exactly.
cream and
Exactly. It never happens in real life, but I destroy it anyway because I love
same.
reading about it. And thrillers. I've gone into thrillers a lot the past year.
Mm,
I read Alice Feeney because Sarah said it on her YouTube channel, and I
yeah.
was like, I need to get into that.
Mm,
So I got into a couple of her books, and then Frida McFadden. I've read so many of her books by now. I love it. And fantasy, I think, is great. And then romantasy, I love it. Like, I just
can't
love
go
it.
wrong. Can't go wrong.
Exactly. I love it. That's about it, to be honest. I
Same.
tried getting into classics. I've read Emma, Pride and Prejudice, and I think another one, but honestly, I don't even know. I think I rated them all 2 or 3 stars.
Yeah.
They're just too slow for me, and I can't
Yeah.
read I can't understand half the words I'm reading.
Yeah, like what's the point? Have you actually read Never by Jessa Hastings?
I have, yes, I
How did you
have.
find it?
I don't know. I read it at the same time with a lot of other people in
Mm,
Sarah, her Discord at the time. And I think because I read it with so many people that had such a strong opinion on the book that
mm,
that kind of deformed my opinion about the
yeah.
book.
Yeah.
I kind of want to give it another shot and see how I think of it if I just read it by myself
Mm,
without seeing other people talk about it. Because a lot of things that were described in the book, I've now read in other books as well, and it doesn't really bother me in other books how
mm,
much as it bothered me in that book. But I think because I did read it with a lot of
yeah.
people, it just made my opinion different than
Mm.
from if I'd read it by myself.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah, I
don't know
started reading
what.
it in a book slump and I just couldn't get into it. Like it's still I still have
Mhm.
yet to finish it. And I think it was something about like the way that they talked in it. I just like it took me too much brain power to like try and figure out what they were actually saying. That I was just
Mhm.
like, I'm in too much of a slump right now for this to be like what any
Yeah.
reading, you know? So I do want to finish it because
Hmm.
like I love Jessa's writing so much. And
Oh
like all of
yeah,
her
the
quotes are
writing is
insane and
beautiful.
yeah, like so I do want to finish it. I just haven't yet. And I haven't had like any real like desire to, you know, that kind of way. Like I haven't been
Hmm.
like, oh, I need to finish that.
Exactly. I think I
Um,
did finish it in like 2 days just
mm,
because I wanted to get it over with. And like other people were saying how bad it was at the end. I was like, okay, I need to get to the end
to
now.
know,
So I
yeah.
need to finish it. So I think I finished it in like 2 days, but I tried to delete it off my Kindle because I thought, why would I waste $10 on this? But I didn't. And now I kind of think back on it like I never had an actual opinion about it for myself because I
Yeah.
just saw it how other people would read it, and that's how my opinion got formed from that. So
Mm,
I don't know if I ever do want to reread it, but I think I want to at
mm.
one point anyway.
Yeah, because I feel like that was like a lot of the start of when I started reading was I started reading because of book talk, which I feel like is so
Hmm.
many people's thing. But like I
Oh
started with
yeah.
Colleen Hoover, which you can actually just like, see there, as that like everyone else did, you know. Like I feel like
I
it's just
think
like a
I
rite of
started.
passage.
No, I started reading It Ends With Us, and that's how I got back into reading.
Same.
So
Yeah. I feel like everyone you talk to now, it's just like, oh yeah, it started with It Ends With Us. And then I just gone from there. But like for so
yeah,
long I was like, oh my God, this book is insane because everyone on Book Talk was saying it. And then you kind of sit down and you're
exactly.
like,
Mm,
was it?
was it really that
Was it
good?
really? And I saw TikTok the other day and it was like this because you know like she released like the nail polish collection
Oh
that's
yes, I
based on It
saw
Ends.
that.
Yeah, and some girl posted on TikTok and she was just like, "Oh, I just finished this like really traumatic book about domestic violence. I wonder if I have a nail polish to match the vibe that I'm feeling." And I was like, "Oh
Oh
my God." I
god.
was like, "Holy shit."
Well, if you look at it that way, it is kind of strange. But
Yeah.
did it not have a coloring book as well?
I don't think she ever released it. I think she like was like, "Oh, I'm gonna release a coloring book," and people were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And she went, "You're probably right. You're probably right."
Well, probably right. My God, why would you release? Why would you
I
even
don't know.
come up with the idea to
Yeah.
release a
Who? No,
coloring
but I
book
just want to
for
know how it
that?
got by so many people. Like that's not
I
like a one
know.
person thing. Like that's a team
Oh
of people.
no,
And they all
a
went,
whole
"Great
team.
idea. Great idea."
Yeah, great idea to release a coloring book for this book about domestic violence and toxic relationships and everything. Surely, why
Yeah.
not?
Totally a great idea. It's gonna make us so much money, guys. We're gonna be
Of
millionaires.
course.
Because even I read after It Ends With Us, I read Ugly Love.
I read that one too. I read a lot of her books, to be honest.
I've only read It Ends With Us, It Starts With Us, and Ugly Love. And I bought Variety or Verity or
Mm,
Verity, is it? And I
yeah,
was just like, no, I'm actually done. I'm okay. I was like, I'm actually
I read It Ends With Us, Ugly Love, November 9, All Your Perfects, Variety, Verity, whatever you call it. What else did I read? There was one about a mother and daughter relationship. I don't even know how it's called.
I blacked out.
Um, and another one. I don't know. I read a lot of her books. Oh,
Mm,
Layla, I read that one too.
mm.
Variety, whatever it's called.
That
It
one.
was one of my favorites of her, to be honest. If I have to choose a book, it is
Yeah.
definitely that one. Just because it's different,
Yeah.
it doesn't have a problematic twist to it. Well, it's obviously problematic, but
From
it's
the
a
get-go,
different
not halfway
twist.
through.
Yes, exactly. But no, there's not a twist of like, oh, my boyfriend tried to kill me in a fire, but oh yeah, sure, I'm still dating him. Oh no, my
But he's
boyfriend
so
threw me
nice to
down the
me.
stairs, but he's so nice to me, so I'll still date him. Like, this one is just a problem book from the first sentence, so
Mm.
it was better.
At least it
I'm
like
still rating it
prepared you.
three
You knew what
stars.
you were getting into.
Oh yeah,
You were
definitely,
aware.
definitely.
Yeah. So what are some five-star books that you will defend to the ground that nobody could ever convince you that they are not?
Magnolia Parks, like,
Come on.
do I even have to talk about it?
We'll get into it. Don't worry. We will get there.
Exactly. I love the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, but especially The Ballad of Never After.
Mm-hmm.
I love that one. What else? I looked into my 5-star reads beforehand before this. I was like, I need to like I know what books I love, but I was like, I forget sometimes the books that I read, even my 5-star reads, I forget
Same.
about them
Yeah.
because I've read them in 2020 or something, and I just forget that I read them.
Mm.
But Twilight, it might not be a 5-star for me, but it's just
It's in
a
there.
book that no one can change my opinion about that I will
Mm.
always love. It's just nostalgic, I
Yeah.
think. Same with Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. That's my favorite book of the Harry Potter series and my favorite film. No one can change my mind about that one. Everything, everything. I love that one too.
Mm.
I don't know. It's just all books that I've read a long time ago, and I've reread all those books.
Yeah.
Well, not Magnolia Parks, maybe, and The Ballad of Never After because I read it this
Recently
year
enough.
or
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
like December or something. So like I haven't reread those, but I would love to. Like I can't wait to pick
Yeah.
up Magnolia Parks or the Once Upon a Broken Heart series
Same.
and just annotate them and reread them and
Mm.
relive the whole worlds and fall in love with the characters all over again. I love that so much
I know,
about
same.
books.
That's why I actually bought the other covers of Magnolia because I was like, I want to go through these ones and like really annotate them. Because like
Yeah.
I don't love
Mm.
them. I don't love the new covers. I understand what they're doing for the
No.
book series. Like I've seen them
Mm.
in so many bookstores now, and that's really cool to be able to be like walking by, like, oh my God, it's Magnolia, because like they really
Yeah,
weren't
exactly.
anywhere.
Yeah. Mm.
Um, but yeah, so I bought them anyway because I was like, I want to like proper like have like a little ruler and like have my pen and like really go
Yeah,
into it. Because
exactly.
my original covers are destroyed. Like I have absolutely obliterated those books. They're like bent in
Oh
seven different
God.
directions. There's like writing all like halfway through the book, I think I started like a fuck you BJ counter of just like me writing on it, just fuck you, and just I started a counter up in the top corner.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I need to go back and actually like do it nicely. Are you
My
okay?
dog fell off the couch.
Oh no. Right, so we're gonna get into your Bookstagram next.
Yes.
So, how did you actually decide to start posting like book content?
I think it was with my sister. Ow. I don't really. I think it was just me and my sister have always loved reading together and everything. And I think one day we just decided on a random day in January we were doing a 24-hour readathon together. So we just decided, oh, why not capture this and post it online? So then me and my sister just kind of started it. Well, she started her account and I started my account, and then I just stuck with it. I liked it. I liked
Mm,
making friends on there. I liked posting it. I liked seeing that people liked what I posted and wanted to know what I was reading and everything. So I just stuck with it and never stopped really.
it's fair. I mean, I was the same. I was just like one day I was like, you know what? I love this so much. I love like consuming book content as well. So
Yeah,
I was like, why not just like start posting it online and like just for the fun of it? Like it is really fun.
exactly. I love it. Like
Same.
I
It's just
used
not
to
that
watch or
serious.
I still watch so many booktubers and everything and
Mm,
like book talk and I love to see Bookstagram too now.
yeah.
Before that I made my Bookstagram I was just like, oh, booktube is enough for me. But then they started talking about how they posted it on Instagram and like they loved the book community there and I was like, well, maybe I should hop onto this community and see
Mm,
what the crack is. And then, I just did.
yeah. I love your pictures on your Instagram. Like
Oh,
I
thank you
so
so
want
much.
to like get into like your layouts are so cute and like all of your pictures. I'm just like, oh my God, that's so adorable. Every time I
Oh,
see it, I'm like,
thank
oh,
you.
cute.
That
So what
means so
content,
much.
of course, what content creators in specific do you draw inspiration from?
Well, I don't think there's a lot of book. like book talkers and bookstagram and everything that I draw my I like see and like, oh, I really want to be this person.
Mm.
But I really get a lot from booktube, like Rachel, Catherine, Haley Pham, Destiny, Sarah,
Yeah.
like all the popular
The book girlies.
booktubers. Exactly. I don't know. I've always thought that I wouldn't make a bookstagram but a booktube one day. I'm
Mm.
just too anxious to do that, to be honest. I would
Baby
love to do
steps.
it still,
Mm.
but I haven't even shown my face on my bookstagram, like, so why would I ever try booktube if I don't even show my face on my
Yeah.
bookstagram, you know? So then I was like, no, never mind. Maybe in the future, maybe once I have my own house and have my own library
Yeah.
aesthetic that I like would want to post on YouTube.
Mm.
But yeah, those are mainly the people that I look up to and like get inspiration from. Sorry.
You're fine.
And yeah, I just like to scroll on my For You page on Instagram, if that's what do you call it For You page on Instagram too?
I think so. I think that's what it
I
says,
think
doesn't it? Like up
so.
at the top corner.
Yeah, I think you
I'm
can
pretty
choose from
sure.
like following and For
For
You,
you,
I think.
yeah. No.
But like I really look at those two, like the posts that I see and the posts that I share. I draw inspiration from that too because I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, that's nice, and I'll save it and like, oh, that's a nice idea for the next post or something like that. I just love to look at book content.
Same. Like literally, like sometimes I'm like sitting there and I'm scrolling and I'm watching so much book content that I'm like, I could be reading right now, but instead I'm just like consuming other people reading. It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly. I usually put on like YouTube if I want to read, but then I'm consuming it so much that I'm not even reading. I'm like, oh
yeah,
wow, that's really good, really good. And then I'm like, oh, I
that's a
should have
nice
been
opinion.
reading for the last 40 minutes, you know, but instead I'm watching the video instead of reading along with it.
You see, I'm the worst. I can't have anything on when I'm reading because I just, that's it. That's where my brain goes.
Mm.
Like I play like a little bit of music. Like I love finding like book playlists on Spotify. Bless you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I love finding like book playlists on Spotify and everything and like putting them on in the background. But yeah, so like that's what I just throw on music in the background. I'll sit there and I read because like I'm the worst for like
Mm-hmm.
my phone, especially like I used to read on my iPad before I got my Kindle.
Oh God,
Yeah, and it was just I
I
get
could
so
not.
distracted. No, so
Yeah.
distracted. The cat games,
Mhm.
oh, it'd be game over. I
Oh
just go into
yeah.
them. So bad.
Exactly. I can't listen to music when I read, or not music that I know anyway, because I'll just start singing along myself, and I'm like,
Mm.
I need to read. I need to focus on what I'm reading and not
Yeah.
what I'm hearing in my ear.
Mm.
So I always listen to like, is it ambience that you call it?
Yeah, like all like the instrumentals and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I listen to that when I read, or I put it on YouTube with like a rainy forest or something. I don't
Have
know.
you ever done like the cafe ones?
Yes, I
Love
did the
them.
Animal Crossing cafe and stuff.
Oh, that's
I
so
loved it.
cute.
I
Oh,
loved
so
it.
sweet. So what is one piece of advice you have that you want to give anybody if they want to start posting book content, but they may be like a little nervous or just not unsure about it?
That's a really good one because I used to be very nervous too to post and stuff because you would want your content to be liked and like you want some people to interact with, you
Yeah.
know. And I feel like if you don't get that, you might get demotivated to post. But I don't know, just ignore the likes, ignore the followers, ignore everything and just do it because you love to do it.
Mm.
Don't do it because you want 100 likes or 1,000 likes or 10K followers. Don't do it because of that, because that is gonna demotivate if you only get 50 followers in a
Yeah.
day, like, or in a week even. That's
Mm.
really demotivating if you don't get the 10K followers
Mm.
that you want. Just post because you want to. Do whatever you want. Don't keep to an aesthetic if you don't want it. Just
Yeah.
post whatever you want to post and you feel comfortable with posting. I think that's the best
Yeah.
advice I could give anyone for anything, like not even a bookstagram, a booktube, like post whatever you want. Post what you enjoy editing, post what you enjoy making. If you don't enjoy it, you're not going to stick to it.
No. And you're just gonna start resenting it after a while and all that kind of stuff. And it's like,
Exactly, yeah.
yeah, when you're watching those bigger people like Destiny and Sarah and Haley and all, like it's hard to post and you're just like, why am I there? But like that's their full-time
Hmm.
job. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So like I'm a student and I have a part-time job and it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like I can't put as much time into it as they can. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
sometimes it's like getting past that mental block of like you're not gonna grow as quickly as they are because of that, and that's fine. Like that doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Because
Exactly.
even with like the podcast and stuff, I've been striving for like consistent people. You know what I mean? So like I
Hmm.
have the same people coming back week and week and week out to listen to the
Yeah.
podcast. And that to me means more than like thousands of people.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like as long as they stick
Exactly.
around,
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
all you can ask for, right?
Yeah. Because like you could go viral and you could start trending for a video, but like none of those people may stick around. You know what I mean?
They might like the one video or the one podcast
Exactly.
or the one post that you make, and then they're like, "Oh, I don't
Never.
actually like this
Yeah.
account, so never mind. I'll
Yeah.
unfollow." That's
Yeah.
what happens.
Exactly. So we have a fun game. And this
Mm-hmm.
is where we get into Magnolia Park.
Woo!
For anyone that listens to the podcast all the time, I shite on about Magnolia Parks like entirely too much, like to the point where it's probably annoying. Um,
Oh well.
and I
Everyone
like
who thinks it's annoying, no, go
exactly.
off, no.
You're fine. You can listen to a different episode where I don't mention it, the two that I have yet to
Exactly.
mention it. Right. So we're going to play Smash or Pass on Magnolia Parks characters.
Mm,
Now, we can give reasons. Okay. Now, to be honest, I
okay.
feel like all of these are going to be like, yes, but we'll get into it. So, we're going to start off with the woman herself, Magnolia Parks.
Smash.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean,
Are you kidding me?
duh.
She's batshit crazy, but I love her.
Exactly. But that's every single character in this book. They're all crazy, but we love
Exactly. Like,
them.
genuinely, I don't think there's like one brain cell between a lot of them. I'm like, guys, come on,
No,
work together here.
no.
No.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, I love her.
Of
Like, she's
course we do.
insane. I feel like into the sorry, just spoilers as well for anyone that hasn't read Magnolia. We're going to be talking about plot points for Magnolia. So just spoiler alert, if you haven't read
Yeah.
it, maybe this isn't the best time for you to be listening. I feel like Into the Dark humanized Magnolia a lot more.
Oh yeah. BJ too, definitely.
Yes. Yes. He was like just
Every
like this.
single character.
Yeah, I
He's like
know.
them human in Into the Dark.
I know. I was like, oh my God. But you see, like, I got so scared because, like, when you start, obviously, at the end of Long Way Home,
Yeah.
we sadly lose Bridget. I'm gonna start
Yeah.
crying. That's how sad my life is and
Stop.
obsessed these books I am, right? So
I
when you
know.
start Into the Dark, like, it's not mentioned.
No.
Like the first like two or three chapters, and I'm like, is she gonna pull like it was all a dream, or is she gonna pull some like she recovered? I was like gonna be mad
Yeah,
about it.
exactly. I was ready to fight someone, like,
Same. I was like, come on, what are we doing here? What's happening? Because I was like,
let's
did it
skip
happen?
to the part where we left off here, guys.
Yeah. I was like, dude, I roared at the end of Long Way Home, and I've been waiting so long for this, and you're gonna tell me you're just not
Yeah.
gonna mention it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like it definitely like humanized Magnolia without like I feel like if it was too drastic of a change, I would have been mad.
Yeah, definitely. But I feel like they did, or Jessa did it perfectly.
Yeah. It was like she was still like a little bit of a Magnolia, you know how she is, like a bit of a diva and a bit of like a princess about things. But it also just
Mm.
gave her like this element of like she was like standing up to her family really like for the first time and like she was actually like getting vulnerable with not only BJ but like her friends and stuff. So I was just
And
like,
like
oh,
we saw her grieve.
yeah,
Like that was such a, I don't know, it was so weird because of how Bridget kept showing up and everything.
yeah.
And I was like, wow, we really see her grieve in this book, how
Hmm.
she then in the end accepted, well, she probably never accepts it, like how can you? But
Yeah.
she just
You learn to live
Mm.
with it, you learn to kind of work
Exactly.
alongside it that way. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And I don't know, it just felt such an emotional roller coaster, but it
Mm.
ended in such a, I don't know, good way because, well, Bridget
Yeah.
still died, but the book ended in a very good way that the series is done. That's what I
She
mean.
wrapped it up like really nicely. She gave them their
Exactly,
ending,
yeah.
their perfect, their wedding. That was actually one thing. I was like, from the get-go when Magnolia was like, I don't want this big ass wedding.
Mm-hmm.
That for me was like, holy shit, yeah, she's like really a different person now after Bridget.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like even like in I think I don't even remember what book it was. It was one of the book they were not even engaged yet at this point. And she was like
Mm-hmm.
talking about like the wedding dress she would one day wear and all this. And I was like, oh my God, if they get married, this wedding is gonna be like it's gonna shut the country down. I was like, this is the
Yeah,
vibe that I'm getting.
but
And then the
that's what
fact that
they
they went,
thought as well.
yeah. It's what they thought they wanted and what everyone thought that they wanted. And then in the end it was
Yeah.
just like, no. Even
No,
the way
that's
that
not.
like everything happened with Bridget and oh my God, what's the sister's name? Henry's sister's name? What's her name?
Ava, Anna,
I actually
her.
I don't know. Like they go on the backpacking trip anyway.
Yeah, I think Ava or Anna.
I'll look it up after we finish and I'll like put it on the screen and it'll be like totally different. It'll be like the other a half of the alphabet and it'll just be like we're like, oh, it's definitely Ava.
Yeah.
But even like the way that everything ended with that when they kind of like spread her ashes and everything, like I thought that was really cute and it was really well done. I was
Oh,
like,
it was
oh.
beautiful. I cried for half an hour. My boyfriend looked at me and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like,
Mm.
"No." He said, "You're crying over fictional character." And it's like, "Shut up." I am,
They're
yes.
real to me.
That's what I said. I keep saying, like, I've never had a book make me feel that way that I
Same.
thought the characters that I could bump into them when I
Mhm.
go to London.
Yeah.
These characters made me feel like they actually existed. That's how good they were written.
Hmm.
Like, say if I go to London now, where I can see their jet flying over anytime, like
Yeah, but like, oh, they're
that's
staying in
how
there. That's for there.
exactly that's how Jessa made me feel with
Mm.
them characters. Like it's actually crazy.
So the next one might be a little insensitive, but Bridget, yikes.
um, yes, still
Yeah.
yes.
She was so smart and she was so sarcastic and I just loved her. And like I feel like she
Yeah,
was like put in the universe to just like keep Magnolia down.
yeah.
To always knock her down a peg when she needed it. And I was like, you're just like
Oh
the perfect
yeah,
sister. It was insane.
exactly. I loved her. Love her still.
Not over it yet.
Oh
Oh, poor
no.
Bridge.
Yeah, we love Bridge.
We do. Because even like I remember I think I was only like 15 pages into the dark and I was
Mhm.
roaring. No, I mean like hysterics roaring. And I
I
like
know.
oh, it was so bad. And I snapped my boyfriend and I was just like, I'm not okay. And he's like, you're not allowed to read anymore. He was like, if this is what's gonna happen, you're actually just not allowed to read. It's dangerous. You're not allowed anymore.
That's what mine said after I finished the book.
Yeah. Hysterics. Like I
Yes.
remember I think I stayed up until like 3 a.m. finishing Into the Dark. And I even posted TikTok about it. I literally just set up my phone. I was just here and I was hugging the book and I was like, what do I do now?
Hmm.
Like what do I
I
actually do now?
I finished it like last week or so,
Mm,
and I remember it because I was sleeping on the floor in a house up in Belfast because we were leaving the next day to go to
mm.
Portugal for holiday,
Yeah.
and it was 2 a.m. when I finished it, and we had to get up at 6. It's
I just
like,
couldn't.
okay, this is
I was
my
like, I
life
can't go
now.
to bed not knowing the end. I was like, what's
Exactly,
the
that's what I
point?
thought. Started reading at like 11, and then I had like 300 or 200 pages left. And I was like, I need to finish this. I don't want to bring this big ass book on me with
Yeah.
on holiday. Just like, I need to finish this. And then I did. And I was like, it was 2 a.m. I cried, I sobbed for about an hour. And then
Same.
I just fell asleep because I was just tired of crying.
Yeah, you were just emotionally comatized at that point.
Yes.
So BJ.
Smash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously. Like
My
I feel like
kids.
I don't know. Like even when he was just like a fucking dick in the first couple books, I was like, hey.
Hello, hi.
No, I loved him. And especially again, like Into the Dark, just like made him such like it just showed like it's so obvious the entire series how much he cares about Magnolia.
Yeah,
But like
yeah,
Into the
definitely.
Dark just showed how much he notices that she doesn't even realize and how aware of this person he is that like when shit changes with her, he's like on it,
Yeah,
And it was so
exactly.
cute. And I was like, BJ, my heart.
He has my whole heart. Like the whole series, every single person has my heart in those books.
Mm. I
I
mean,
can't
other than
even talk about it. Like,
no, other than the fact that, Julian.
well,
Anyway, we'll get to him in a few minutes.
that's a
Tara.
whole different
Oh,
story.
yeah, that's a whole.
Tara, I liked her. I don't know, to be honest with her. Like, I
Yeah,
liked her, but
same.
she was just different from the other
Mm.
characters. And then she was dating two people. Like,
Yeah, that was like
oh,
uncomfy. I was like, what are we doing here, girly? Let's like make up our minds.
yeah,
It was just,
exactly.
yeah. And then I felt
And
so
then
bad.
she ended up dating none of them. Like,
Yeah, no, because like
'cause she ended up with a cop. What was his name? The
yes.
one that
Oh,
Magnolia
fuck.
dated. She ended up with that guy. What was his
Fuck,
name?
what was his name?
Tiller. Was it Tiller?
Yes, yes. I
Something
don't remember his
Tiller.
first name, but yeah, Tiller. Yeah.
Yeah. That's who she ended up with. And I was like, why
Anyway,
the hell did you date two guys for, not to choose any of them in the end?
yeah. Yeah. I did feel bad for her though because of the whole like Magnolia thought for so long it was her and BJ.
Yeah.
And she got like such a bad rep for it and everything, and then it ended up obviously not being true. I
Yeah.
felt so bad for her. And I really liked her friendship with Magnolia. I thought that was quite cute.
As I in the last book, honestly, everything just changes because you
Mm,
see a lot more of her and Magnolia then, and like
yeah.
how their friendship really is. And then I
Mm.
was like, oh, she's not that bad. I
No,
never
yeah.
actually thought she was bad. I just thought it was weird
She was
that she was
there.
dating the two guys.
Yeah.
She
And she
was
was like,
just in the
yeah.
background.
Yeah.
She was never up at the front with
No.
Magnolia or BJ or Christian or anyone.
Mm.
She was just there dating two guys.
She was doing her own thing. She was over there. So Henry. I don't
I
know.
think I think the same as her, to be honest, as
I feel
Tara.
like Henry's just like such a little brother.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like and I don't know what to say about him.
Mm.
I don't know.
Like
I don't
again, he was
know.
he was a great friend with Magnolia and he was there when she needed him, but I feel like he was just in my mind he was always like a little brother.
Yeah,
Do you get that kind of way? So I was just like
yeah, yeah.
he's over there doing whatever with Tara, but like for now in my mind he's a little brother.
Exactly, yeah. I don't think I would
No.
do anything with him.
Sorry, Henry.
Just it's just weird. Like I don't know
Yeah,
how to explain it, but it's just weird.
it is. It's a Daisy. Yeah.
Duh.
Daisy's such
Yes,
a girl boss. She is just such like the
exactly.
epitome of like such a girl boss. I adore her.
She
She
has her
stabbed
own
herself.
opinion about everything. She does whatever the hell she does and
Yeah.
wants, and she doesn't
Did you
care about anyone else.
I'm sorry, I just realized I wrote Christina Hems instead of Christian. I was just looking
I
at it and I was
didn't,
like, that looks
I didn't
wrong.
see that.
Christina, who are you? Daisy. Did Daisy shoot herself or stab herself?
Well, I think it was stab. I
I think
don't
it was stab.
actually. I
Stab
think
is
it was
like in my brain.
stabbing.
I feel like shooting would have been like a little dramatic.
I
Like, let's
feel
put
like
down
she
the
did get
theatrics, Daisy.
shot, or was it Julian that got shot? One of the characters in Daisy Hate's books got shot
It's
anyway.
so funny though, going from the first Magnolia Parks book into the first Daisy Hates book. Because you're like,
Yes.
the fuck?
What?
How did I get here?
Yes.
It's actually wild. It's like it's such a flip because to be honest, I didn't love the first Daisy Hates. I think
Neither did I.
no, I think I gave all the books 5 stars bar Daisy Hates. So I still enjoyed it and it still made me want to like continue. But
Hmm.
like I didn't like with the other books, I devoured them like instantly. I was like so I never wanted to put them down. But Daisy, I kept finding myself putting it down. But then I think Daisy Hates the Great Undoing is my favorite book in the entire series.
I don't know what my favorite book is in the entire series, but I do feel you on Daisy Hates.
Mm,
Like I started reading Daisy Hates.
mm.
Like I read Magnolia Parks in November last year, and then I started Daisy Hates in January, so I took a wee bit of a break. And then I read Daisy Hates, and I was 50 pages in, and I was like, no. And then I
Yeah.
stopped and went to A Court of Mist and Fury, and I read that. And then I went back to Daisy Hates, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna finish this because everybody says how good this series is, so I need to finish this
Yeah.
book. And then I devoured it in 2 days.
Yeah.
But still, I don't know, my
It is just such a
thoughts are
shift.
different.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
such a shift. You're not ready for it and you have no preparation going into it how different it's going to be. And then it's even like kind
Mm-hmm.
of hard to mentally be like, these people are in the same universe.
Exactly. I had to really switch my mind to say, oh, but this is the same universe
Yeah.
as Magnolia Parks. I didn't want to believe it at first. I was like, this is so different
Yeah.
from Magnolia Parks.
So Christian,
Yes. Yes.
yeah. He was so
Mm, yeah.
like adorably protective and like he was like the right amount of like dick for it to be cute and like
Yeah.
attractive. He wasn't like to the point of like, you're
Exactly.
just an asshole for being an asshole. It was just like you're actually like that attractive level of like you can get away with it. You can do whatever you want.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
um Jonah. I feel like he's back there again.
Yeah, I feel like he's the whole gang of the three people that
Yeah.
dated each other in some sort of way is just back there, you know?
Yeah.
No.
Because even like I've
No.
seen so many people and they're just like, oh my God, I'm petitioning for a or a Jonah, Henry, and Tara book. And I'm like, I don't care.
I don't think I would read that, to be
No,
honest.
I
Like,
wouldn't either.
Jessa writes it, so I probably would in the end, but I wouldn't be jumping up and down to buy
No,
it, like, on release
no.
day and everything.
No, I think she
No, I don't
said
think I
herself, she
would.
was like, I don't think they have a story. She's like, I don't think I'd ever write for them. But people were like desperate for it. And I was like, why? I was like,
Like,
they're
you don't get to know them enough in the books to even want a story,
no,
I think personally.
no.
I don't know them enough to be like, oh, I would actually read a story about them.
Yeah.
No, I
And I
wouldn't.
wasn't like rooting for any of them. I wasn't like, oh, I want Tara with this person or this person. It was just kind of happening. And
Yeah,
that was it. That's all you knew about it. Was like you never knew like the personalities to be like, oh, I could actually see her with him more than him.
yeah,
It was just like
exactly,
it
yeah.
was just going on and we were like looking over here and it was just happening here.
Yeah, like we were focusing on the main
Yeah.
thing and then back there that was happening.
Yeah, they were on their own journey. We're just gonna leave them over there.
Exactly.
So Tom England,
I don't know. I think so.
I think so.
I think so.
I think he was really cute for what he did, and like at the end of the day, you always know when like Magnolia's with anyone other than BJ, you're like, this isn't gonna last.
Yeah, that's
So it's
true.
like whatever. But like I feel like he was such like a he was he was a good like placeholder. Sounds awful. Doesn't make me sound like such an awful person. He was a great placeholder.
Yeah,
He was
I know
there.
what you mean. I know what you
Yeah.
mean.
Like he was like for what she needed at the time, he was it.
Yeah,
So I think I
exactly.
would.
And
I
that
think he
is
was
true.
cute.
He
Did he
was a
go to the
good
wedding?
guy to her. I think he did. Yeah,
I think
with
he
his
did.
sister. Did he not? With his sister?
Yeah. I think they did go. Which is a bit odd, but anyway. The man of the
Okay.
hour.
Oh.
My one love. Don't tell my boyfriend. Julian hates.
Is that even a
It's
question,
not.
girly?
It's not. If you think that's a question, you didn't read the books properly. I'm sorry.
Exactly,
Like end
exactly.
of. You just didn't.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. I don't understand. After reading The Great Undoing, I was like, I don't care about BJ anymore.
No,
I was like, you
he was
fuck off
done.
now.
Every
We're over
single
here.
boy was done for
Oh,
when that book entered my brain.
like it's so cute. Oh my God. And then even like reading The Long Way Home, it's just such like a little blip. You get like minor little like scenes with them, and you're just like, oh, they were together? And then you read
Yeah.
The Great Undoing, and you're like, my heart's shattered. I was
Yeah.
like, he is
I couldn't
the
wait, to
cutest
be
human.
honest. When
I
I
love him.
read The Long Way Home, I was
Mm.
like, I can't wait. to read more about Julian. I can't
I
wait to
love
hear his side
Julian.
of the story of Magnolia and him. I was like, no, I can't wait. So I dove right into that book after I finished Magnolia Parks. I was like, no, I have to go. I have to see what his thoughts are about this. I need to know. And then that made me fall in love with him even more. I was like,
I know.
wow,
You're the cutest
wow.
human ever.
Yeah,
You're adorable. And it's just
exactly.
like, how can you, like, I'm sorry. I want to get the great undoing of my heart as I know it tattooed on my body. At
Yeah,
one point in my, I have to.
yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. How can you say that about a person and not end up with them?
I know.
Drove
It
me
broke my
wrong. I was
heart.
so mad.
I
Oh,
was like, what the hell is happening here? Like, why? Why? Just
I know.
why?
And then I got like you get like a little bit of a teaser in Into the Dark because like Magnolia starts like wondering where Julian is and and you're like, oh, what is happening?
Ooh,
Oh my
I
God.
got
And
so
then he shows
happy.
up and then they kiss and then that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Them done. I was
And
like,
you're like,
what
dude,
the
no,
hell?
come back.
Why?
Come back. I am actually
Yeah.
desperate to know what happens in the next Daisy Hates.
Oh, so am I. I can't wait. I
Because there was
truly can't
just
wait.
so much going on with the guys, like Christian and all, that they just didn't speak about. Like, you didn't even get hints. You just
No,
knew something was
nothing.
happening with them, and you were just like, I don't, okay, look, you're cute. Have your wedding. I want to see what's
I'm gonna
going
go.
on over here.
I wanna know what's happening in the other books, you know?
Damn. Which is such a shift from like the first Daisy Hates, like not being my favorite, and then being like, okay,
Yeah,
Magnolia, you're okay. You're good, but I'm gonna go over here.
exactly. Like it was so weird because I think I rated Daisy Hates, the first one, 3 stars or three and a half maybe. But then I think The Great Undoing, I did 5 stars.
It's like the
Like,
cutest book on planet Earth.
oh my God, it
Oh,
was
it
so
makes me
good, so
mad.
wholesome, like everything I needed and more.
I know. And it's so funny because he's like this like art dealer gang dude, right? And you're just like, oh, you're so
Oh, so
cool.
cute. Even though in real life you would run away and you couldn't run away fast enough.
Yeah. Well, depending on how you're doing mentally, if you would or not.
That is true.
Yeah. No, I just, oh my God, like even I want to reread the series, but there's a part of me that I'm like, do I just go straight to The Great Undoing and just reread that one?
I know.
I'm like, I know
I
what
know.
happens. I
Hmm.
could because I just
Exactly.
need to read how he talks better again.
Oh,
It's
I
just like,
need to read his thought. Wow.
I know.
Need to read his thoughts about her again. Like, oh,
And then it's actually just, it makes The Long Way Home even more heartbreaking because you're like, in her story, he was such a blip.
yeah.
And then you read Great Undoing and it's his entire, I'm gonna start crying. That is actually heartbreaking. It's like
Like
everything to him.
all his POVs are like Magnolia, Magnolia, Magnolia. And then all Magnolia talks about in her POVs are
Just BJ.
BJ.
And you're like,
And then once in a
no.
while Julian pops up like, oh, I wonder how he's doing.
Like you don't even think their
What?
relationship is as significant as it is reading The Long Way Home.
No.
It's only when you get to the Great Undoing, you're like, oh shit, they were actually together for like a while.
Yeah.
And
You
it just
actually
doesn't seem
realize
like it.
then how
Yeah.
long they were going out for. I
Mm,
was like, what? Actually that long?
I know. Because like during that time, BJ had a girlfriend or something, didn't he? So I think that's
Yeah.
what Magnolia's like book was about. And then you're just like, no, get back to Julian right now. You go over there.
Exactly. Just
Ignore
go
that
back.
man.
It doesn't matter. Go back.
No. And then I just added Roman.
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, he was a bit weird. Like he just pop up every now and
Yeah.
then. Daisy would be like, okay.
Hey.
Like it felt a little bit like I was about to say a knockoff, but that's really mean. But I mean it in that way, but not as in like the like how mean that sounds of like BJ
Mm-hmm.
and Magnolia and like somebody else.
Yeah.
Because like she was like Roman was like her BJ and she kept going back to him over and over and over again. And I was like,
Exactly.
no.
Yeah.
But like they
No.
didn't have that development that we saw and heard about with Magnolia and BJ. So it just felt
Oh,
weird.
definitely not. Like it felt weird for
Hmm.
her to keep going back to him. I thought she keeps going back to Christian too, like,
Yeah.
but I feel like her and Christian make way more sense than her and
Roman.
Roman. Like,
Yeah.
no. No, don't
Like he
ever
just
do
kind
this
of
to me
popped up
again.
and you're just kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
this dude, he's here now.
He just popped up as a new character, and I was like, oh, okay, hello, who are you? Like, we've never seen you before. What are you doing here?
Oh yeah. But anyway, so in conclusion, Julian should have ended up with Magnolia.
Exactly.
And that's
Yeah.
totally all of it. That's really, there's nothing
Yeah.
else to actually say about those books.
No, not
And
really,
again,
no.
if you don't think so, you read them wrong.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
It's like every time you see someone talk about a book, you're like, this is my opinion. You can have your opinion. And I'm like, no, you're wrong.
You are
You're wrong.
definitely wrong, and your opinion does not count.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm actually not going to listen to you now anymore. I don't value your opinion. This is the right one and get on it.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh my God. This has just made me want to
Oh,
reread them even more.
oh, me too. I can't wait to
I
reread them one
know.
day.
And they're actually on Kindle Unlimited, and I didn't know about that.
What? I don't have
Yeah.
Kindle Unlimited anymore. I need
Yeah.
to repurchase it.
Yeah, I love it now. I only got it a couple months ago, and I've just been like, I've read so much on it because I actually own the entire Chestnut Spring series, but for some reason I
Mm-hmm.
read it all on my Kindle.
So did I. I don't own the books yet.
Mm.
I still need to buy them, but I read them all on my Kindle.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep. Right. Well, that was everything.
Right. Well, that was a lot of fun.
That was really fun, and thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me on it.
Of course. And I'll have all of Emma's links in the description of everything if you want to go follow her on Instagram and everything. So please do, because her pictures are insane. You're gonna fall in love with her Instagram as much as I did when I found it. So
Thank you.
of course. Well, thank you everyone for listening to episode 17 of Book Bestie, which feels insane that there's 17 of these now. I started this as like a school project basically. It was like my college final project. And I've
Really?
yeah, and I've just like fallen in love. Like my project is due the 22nd. So I
Mm-hmm.
have to submit all like the paperwork and stuff that I've been doing alongside it. But I'm just like after it, I'm still going. I was like, no, I love this too much to actually not.
It seems
So
like a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing it anyway.
hey, thank you so much. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for listening, everybody, and I will see you next week. Bye.